Hi, my name is Mark Hundley, and this is Live at 5 for a Tuesday, the second Tuesday in September. The reason I'm chuckling is that if you caught my last, um, I guess it was a special Saturday edition of Live at 5, I said something about it being August the 5th, and then I later posted a retraction basically that was saying that my bald moment um, operated once again and did so successfully because I put myself back about a month in time. So that is September. It is the second Tuesday of September, September the 8th, 2020. And so I appreciate whether you're joining me live or whether you join me later. I used to say, is it live or is it Memorex? So whether you're joining me now or later, I welcome you to this, and I hope that you get something out of it. Every now and then, I don't know about you, but for me, every now and then something just simmers and stews in the back of my soul and runs through my heart and runs through my mind. And as much as I seek to avoid thinking about it or planning to do anything with those thoughts, they continue to come back. So I've learned through the years that when something continually gnaws at my soul, gnaws at my heart, begins to pound in my brain, I've got to pay attention to it. And so that's what I'm doing today. The title of today's presentation is Sticks and Stones. Sticks and Stones. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear the words sticks and stones or read them, one of the things that pops into my mind is something I learned when I grew up. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And I used to say that. We all used to say that, I think, at some point, because sometimes people would say things that were hurtful to us, and we would say, sticks and stones, they hurt my bones, but words will never hurt me. Nyeh, nyeh, right? And the words did hurt. I really often wonder what it is behind some of the things that we learned that we held on to so tightly that was supposed to bring us some comfort didn't. Because words hurt. Sticks and stones can break bones, but words can really hurt us. We are in an election cycle. Words are flying around like boomerangs, flying around like rocks, flying around like weapons, used in every conceivable possible way to demean, deny, denigrate others around us, others who would believe differently than we or see things differently than we do. I grew up, when I went to college at Hardin-Simmons University, I was a sociology major. After about a year of being a Bible major, I was really attracted to sociology. So in this whole process of looking at sociology, I began to look at the world differently. I began to look at groups of people differently. And when we think about the things that we say, I have friends on both sides of the fence, and I have people on the middle of the fence, and it doesn't matter whether it's an ideological fence, a religious fence, a political fence, a perspective fence. I have friends on both sides, and I feel grateful that I do. But very often when we begin to think about words, and it's so much easier now to fall prey to propaganda. We don't need planes flying overhead, dropping out leaflets into our hands to begin to read things that may or may not be true or might be partially true. We have enough propaganda on every social media platform, in many respects, podcasts and tweets and Facebook posts and TikTok videos, you name it, we've got it everywhere. And two of the things that really bug me about this are generalizations and labels. Generalizations and labels. Anytime we take a generalization, we assume that when we say something that everybody under that label feels or believes or thinks that way. We do it all the time. We generalize and throw labels around at Republicans and Democrats as if all Republicans and all Democrats believe in the exact same way and want the exact same thing. We say this about Muslims or Christians or Buddhists. We say this about yoga practitioners and therapists and doctors and teachers and lawyers. We say it about friends and neighbors. We say it about blacks and whites and browns and those who are Asian. We take generalizations and use those generalizations to demean, to demoralize, to defeat, to despise people who are against us or different from us. Very often it's almost like, and I've got this visual in my mind, and it bothers me sometimes. When we get into these generalizations and labels and generalizations are what allow us to kill people, or what allow us to minimize people. It's those people, and they all believe that way. We do it in war. We do it in politics. We do it in church life. We do it all the time. And it breaks my heart. In fact, I know every single one of us, I am guilty of using generalizations and labels. And I work really hard to avoid those things, but I do sometimes, more often than I really want to admit. Generalizations and labels are it's almost like we pick up a generalization rock, a label rock, and we're going to throw that rock and we're going to hit our enemy on the other side because we want them to know that they're wrong and we're right. And so we take this rock of generalization and label and we haul off and throw it, and we think we're the best aim and we have the strongest arm in the whole world. But you know what? We probably hit the person just on the other side of the middle, who's so very close to who we are. We're on the other side of the middle and we're not that far away, maybe a chip shot away. But we haul that rock and we're going to get those ugly, mean, awful people who are way over there and believe all the things that are against us. And we wind up hitting people who are similar to us, hurting them, maiming them, destroying them, ripping them apart. And you know what's even interesting? I thought about it this afternoon driving home. Very often when we grab those rocks of generalization and label and we toss them, we actually hurt people on our own side because we hit them too, because they're closer to the middle than we are. You see, I really believe, folks, that we really are closer to one another. We are within arm's length, at least a chip shot away from one another, regardless of the side of fence that we get on. But yet we are so conditioned to listen to and buy into the generalizations and labels that are thrown around indiscriminately, and many times, not just indiscriminately, but purposefully thrown around. Because if my side can beat your side, then we win and you lose, and we get all we want and you get nothing. Is that the way to run a relationship? Is that the way to run a school, a company? Is that the way to run a family? Is that the way to run a country? I think not. I think not. I wish I could say that I was hopeful. I wish that I could say that I had hope in my heart and belief in my brain that we can do better and be better. There's a smidgen of that's left, but every day that goes by, I'm more and more convinced that we care. We could care less. We could care less that the words that we use and the same things that we say destroy people. All blacks, all whites, all browns, all Asians, all Christians, all Muslims, all Democrats, all Republicans, really all. Come on, folks, we're better than this. You know, that adage from our childhood, sticks and stones may break my bones, but folks, if we're not careful, our words, they will destroy us. Please be better, encourage better, do better, live better. Encourage me to do the same. I encourage you. Won't you join me in making at least an attempt, a consistent attempt to avoid generalizations, avoid labels, and begin to listen to what others are saying. I wish you this evening peace.